Welcome, angels, to Set the Stage episode 6. So, Happy New Year, everybody. So, I'm sure you guys are excited for it as much as I am. So, we are going to be talking of where my head is at for 2026. And by that, I mean goals, hopes, what to accomplish within the new year. And of course, I'm explaining how and why into how it correlates with what I'm working on as a post-grad. So that's like as of, if I can do my math. It's got to be, so it's already 7 months, almost 8 months since I graduated college and left Indiana. I'm going to be discussing essentially some what I'm looking for within the new year, like anything to look forward to, what goals to focus on, and how it will lead to more motivation. And I'm sure if you need this as well for yourself, don't hesitate to watch this video. And of course, yes, we have a podcast. So Set the Stage is now available on Spotify. And I encourage you guys to check it out. It's real awesome. So yep, there's a video version of my series and there's a podcast version. So, I can't wait for you guys to see it. So without further ado, let's get into the vlog. Well, jump into the episode. So I have them on my phone. So I typed it on a document, so might as well read a few to you guys. And I'm sure, as I said, this may provide some inspiration. I hope it does. So we're gonna get into them. So first one is openness and identity. So this is where I'm stop relying on what other people might think. After all, think of this. This is your life, your journey, your purpose, not theirs. I feel the ones, in terms of the people who feel the closest to me, would be willing to understand more of my story than the ones who don't. And of course, the identity implies to keeping up with self-awareness, such as prioritizing rest and productivity, and being careful of burnout. And of course, letting time be by my side instead of forcefully trying to rush through things. And an example that implies consists of building consistency into routines that are focusing on goals that are true to me. So it's kind of like building up the system that best works for me. So we're thinking of SMART goals here. That's a good tip to keep in mind. For those that don't know what SMART goals are, those are like, what steps can I take to achieve that goal? How and why will it help me in the long run? And also, how will it help me now? So it's like you're trying to think of the steps to build to achieve that goal. So it's like, of course, it's not just like all like giant steps. It's like small steps in between, which is the better way to go. And then we go to the second one, which is setting boundaries. Wow. And I know you've probably not set a freaking boundary in your life, but let me tell you why you have to do it. So in this case, what's in, for example, is prioritizing my time to be alone when I need it. And why does it help? Well, because it provides me more time for me to decide whether to do certain things or not. Like, I always need time to either understand a question or to take more time until I feel ready to do something. And this also implies to not just accepting my personal boundaries, but also other people's too. Like with guys, for example, I'd rather stick to being guy friends rather than have mutual relations. And second, with anyone, I don't have to forcefully make myself be with people, because there are times when, with anything, there are moments where I may need a mental break too. And so the reason why that helps is because, let me tell you, getting past your threshold limit does more harm than good. That's one of the things I learned in my 20s, and still having to learn that. And here's what's out. Being questioned every few seconds or being asked the same question. It cost me these reasons. Well, my patience, my temper, and my stress tolerance. Like, as for someone who's on the spectrum, like myself, including anxiety, diabetes, all that stuff, I feel that I've become more susceptible to panic attacks. Like, I keep telling people like, hey, I'm a bigger target, and they don't get it. Let me tell you, there are ways to answer specific questions instead of relying on general questions. So this is like the thinking out of the box mechanism. So for example, one person could try say something like, I see that you're feeling this emotion. It's like the follow up and ask, you're kind of listening in to what the other person's saying, and then you're like trying to acknowledge that you're actively listening to what they're saying. It's an active listening skill. It's like the follow up and ask, but not too much detail. And this implies to jumping random questions. That is also out. Like, not a good choice. Like, the moment when someone asks me such a random question that I'm not anticipating, that is not a good move. Don't do that. And now we get on to the third goal, which is trying new health and fitness goals. So here's the thing. The first part of it is portion control. Because, baby girl, there is no need for me to be eating that huge ass plate of rice every night, or plate of rice all the time. And instead of shoving it all in my mouth, I've been constantly trying to remind myself, like, Viv, pace yourself. You're not in a rush. No one's in a rush. It's an anxiety mechanism. I have a tendency to eat really fast. Well, because, like, if you grow up in a household where, like, your parents told you to finish your plate of food, whether you liked it or not, or whether you're full, it's like one of those things that parents, that scold their kids for not finishing their plate of food. But hey, if you're full, you're full. And then the second thing to the health and fitness, gaining more protein. Because, girl, I think I've been on carb overload as of last year, which should not have done that, but I can definitely balance those out by eating more protein. And it could be through, like, meat, plants, protein powder / shakes. Well, meats as in, like, chicken, fish, beef, I suppose. I don't know exactly 100%. I'm gonna have to ask Chris about that. So, well, for protein, like protein from plants, like I can't have nuts to save my life. And then the protein shakes, the whey protein, I have to avoid completely. That's dairy. Instead, I rely more on the plant protein. Because, like, it's much better than dwelling on animal protein all the time. So, like, not that I'm intended to go vegan or anything. It'd be nice to, like, take a step back from animal protein and, like, take it when you really need it. And then the third part is to completely avoid stress drinking, and this implies to stress eating too. Because, like, I know I do love my boozy drinks, just only for special occasion purposes, not nervous drinking. That is a no-go. And drinking when I'm sad, depressed, that's a no-go. Instead, we're focused on healthy ways of coping with those emotions. And then the fourth thing related to health and fitness is mindfulness. Because I was up my mindfulness game, like in the beginning of last year, but I got busier, so I didn't really have time to do that. But hopefully we can make that work for this year. And of course, trying meal planning, like meal prepping, especially for my big meals, like around lunch or dinner. At times, I run out of thought, like, oh my god, what do I want to have for this particular meal? So, like, I don't know, like a specific route to meal prep, but if you guys have recommendations, I'd be happy to do it, as long as it's not vegan or vegetarian. Well, because of my restrictions. Just like I could still eat pretty much anything except for dairy and tree nuts. Oh yeah, and buckwheat too, obviously. If I could do like high protein meal prep, that'd be awesome. Or like Mediterranean diet, something like that. And yes, we were still committing to the gym, ladies. 5 days a week, let's go. And then of course I have my weekends off. The body needs a break. As much as I do love working out, there are moments where at the end of the week I'm like, okay, it's time to give my body some rest, kind of like relax and just to dedicate a particular day to myself, all those things to think about. But I'm sure you get the idea at this point. And now we go on to number 4, getting certain terms out of my head. So I'm letting the words match the woman I'm becoming. So I am tired at this point of talking of terms that feel lazy or gendered in ways that don't fit me. Like bro, I gotta stop saying bro or man, because that's just not aligning with my womanness. I want my vocabulary to be warm, playful, and colorful. Even using terms like honey, I'm now saying that honey. That's become a favorite term since Jonathan Van Ness has said that on Queer Eye, that's the show. Not just words like honey, but any gender-neutral endearments that feel affirming rather than flattening. So I'm emphasizing to people that call me traditional or normal. That erases my queerness, my culture, neurodivergence. Those words are not compliments. Those words are not in my vocabulary. Normal is a no-go, and tradition is a no-go. And they're not my standard either. I'm taking this year to generate a personal dictionary that honors my sexuality, my womanhood, my creative side. So my language is essentially part of my self-expression. Hence, what I say above in my bio, visuals and sounds are my navigators. I'll say this one more time. Visuals and sounds are my navigators. That is so true. Number 5, taking risks. Here's where we're talking a little bit of philosophy here. I might have said this a lot to other people, but it's true though. You never know unless you try. That's what I'm constantly having to learn even after DePauw. Like, for example, going back to learning more languages, like Portuguese. Short story, I was influenced by my friend Giovanni, who I'm sure you know who he is. So he told me he came from Sao Paulo, Brazil. There was the one moment where I heard him and his partner speak Portuguese in front of my camera one time. And that's when I noticed how fascinated I became with the language and how I was able to understand the context. I was fortunately able to pick that language up since I took Spanish in high school. So like, even though it's been a while, it's like memory has been a strength of mine since ever. And of course, with taking risks, this implies to not just learning more languages, but also committing to more video production opportunities, whatever the opportunity might be while I'm still waiting for film school applications. Well, like film school decisions. Well, in terms of showcasing my portfolio, resume, media and writing materials, and even bringing camera skills, both behind and on camera. I know, that's a lot, but I'm sure you've seen me do it as of last year, which we've been able to get, so I can assure that I'll find something. And then we get to number 6, balance of emotions. Wow, that's a huge one. So as you know, I get very agitated easily, even over the tiniest of things. It's like how the smallest traces of an allergen can cause an anaphylactic reaction. Here's how I'm focused on balance of emotions, and I'm sure this could be the one for you guys out there who are struggling with that. So we are focused on utilizing healthy coping mechanisms instead of using food as emotional support. So as I've said to my mom, food is the last thing I think of. It's just only for hunger. It's like the mindset of like whole, you eat when you're hungry. And then hydration is key. And even right now, I'm still trying to keep up with hydrating as I'm able to, while also going easy on the coffee and caffeine. I think I must have gone overboard with caffeine as of last year, but hopefully this year we can control that better. And then the next thing is maintaining a solid schedule for rest and during the day. And that makes sense because you're essentially trying to figure out a system that works for any schedule. So it's like, it helps you analyze better of what times of the day you sleep better, and also what moments of the day you feel the most productive, like you can get stuff done. So as I've said plenty of times, the earlier I do things, the better it is. It's done business. And now, number 7, film school. One of the goals that I did say in my film school apps is accomplishing new filmmaking skills and discovering new ones. And of course, demonstrating my proving people wrong skills. Case in point, sharing what I've learned. It's like the philosophies, the technicalities, and how it applies to creative life. So I know I could go more philosophical into that, and I'm pretty sure I've shared this before on my channel, but a professor once asked if I've taken a philosophy class at DePauw, and I said no. I told him that I was applying from what I've learned. So like pretty much the art that I've done for that class, and even for my photo class, has some philosophy connection to it, or feel. It's pretty complicated. Yep, and I'm also praying that I would get into... It'd be nice to get accepted into all 5 schools, like if that's possible. because so far I got 1 acceptance, so that's awesome. And it was around the time before January hit. Couldn't be happy. Not going to tell you what it is yet. So I'm waiting on 4 more as of right now. So fingers crossed I can get into film school, because I've worked my huge ass glutes off. I really have. Like, I took the whole application part very serious. Like, it was like serious business. Moving on. Number 8. Expanding on teaching. So I know people have said to me like, oh, you'd be a great teacher for what particular subject. And I might have said that, oh, I'd be too aggressive. At the same time, though, another side of my mind is thinking, V, you could do it. Why not? Why not? When I say teaching, it's not just teaching at a educational setting, although I'll have to give more thought into that. What I mean by teaching is like, I could imply this to my videos, like teaching people about time management, finding the system that works, brainstorming ideas in less than a month, all those things. I'm sure in the long run, it'll help me get a side hustle thing instead of relying just on filming itself. Because as I've said thousands and thousands of times, there's so much more to me than just filmmaking itself. It's like life is not just about making films and even watching films. It's like life moves on. Like, I'm still fun. I'm still doing my Zumba, everything. Number 9, backstage access. Ooh, wow. So here's where I'm going to be incorporating more behind the scenes with the use of any cameras available. And I also want to keep my social platforms active. And even as of the beginning of this year, I have a Patreon that's out where people can now access backstage to how I make my content on Patreon. Yes, Set the Stage is now on Spotify. Can't be excited. Like, this all started like as an internal joke. Like, I'm gonna do a podcast and then have it set on a platform. I mean, as of last night, I started putting up the Set the Stage episodes that I filmed for YouTube videos up there. And deep down, it was like, okay, I guess that's how you start. I still want to keep up the podcasting game because there are moments where I just love speaking of anything and everything. It's like I'm willing to share it among the girls, women, trans, queer, you name it. And we go to the last one. Whew, wow. Already saying a lot. Number 10, culinary. Culinary. What is there to imply within culinary? So I'm pretty sure this year I'm going to be getting a lot of, I thought you were a filmmaker, or I thought you were a producer, or I thought you were a director. I'm intended to show people that I am a rainbow diamond. It's the best term to use rather than jack of all trades. Because I'll tell you, jack of all trades, that is in the garbage. That's just old, antiquated, and weak. But rainbow diamond, even better. And that just came from me. Here's how it goes within the rainbow diamond thing. So it provides versatility within me. So I'm dedicated myself to show others that, as I've said again, there's so much more to me than just wanting to achieve my filmmaking career. Like, for example, I could be trying new recipes, like baking recipes, main courses, appetizers, even entrees, you name it all. Or even trying new healthy recipes like overnight oats. This one time, Chris recommended that I would try overnight oats. But I'm like, but I can't have nuts. I can't do dairy to save my life. I have to do it. My spin. I mean, the cool thing within my restrictions is that it taught me to navigate around those changes and also accommodate with what works best for me. Because, like, I've learned to cook when I was 9. And it was a good thing that I did. Because, well, obviously my mom showed me how. And I also seen my grandma do it a lot of times. And as I grew, I'm like, I could do it. Why not? Like, I could impress my friends like that. So, yeah, that's a whole lot to discuss, but yep, that is so true. In summation, so the point is that this year is going to be about living the full, unapologetic you. Like, all those aspects of your identity and that can fit into your life. So, even I'm destined to live the unapologetic me in terms of honoring my queer, neurodivergent, multi-passionate self while building boundaries and creative work that fit me. And that is so important because, like, as you grow, it's like your child you can be so proud of you. And I'm sure even 11-year-old me could scream right now and feel excited of what opportunities I'm taking. Yeah, all those aspects within myself, they already demonstrate that I do not fit the narrow ideas within an Asian woman. This whole 2026 is going to be about writing womanhood as a full character arc, not a stereotype, not a label. More importantly, a rainbow diamond all at once. Remember my dance solo, You Are Your Own Rainbow? The one I did for senior year? Yep, that's a similar that's the reference I'm implying to this video. You are your own rainbow. And what I would say to a kid like me, I would say you are your rainbow diamond. Because when the light shines on you and then it appears, it's like those who have doubted you are going to have to wear the thickest pair of shades. Because after all, you are a ray of light. And you carry on that light. And you bring that light toward your everything. A lot of philosophy talking, but I'm sure you get the idea right now. And if you have any episode recommendations or suggestions, do not hesitate to ask me about those. And for more information about this podcast, they can be found on Spotify and also on my YouTube. So I'm pretty much open to all ideas, recommendations, even guests, I'm sure. I also do pray a wonderful year for all of you, and including myself. Sending lots of prayers, love, and hugs for a better 2026. So, cheers. Just willing to achieve the goals and try to overcome those limits and just to show yourself on what you can really do. This concludes episode 6 of Set the Stage. And I really appreciate you for taking the time to listen. For more information about what I do, that can be found on all social platforms. Make sure you subscribe down below to be part of the Glitter Angel family. And I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next vlog/episode. Bye!